Hey, how's it going? Ray Reese, Reese's Masterpieces, recording another video. I received another question, and I wanted to do this sooner than later because, um, I think back to all of the other videos that I was supposed to have shot. There's videos that I shot that I didn't even um, have a chance to edit, so you'll have to pardon these lighting conditions. But again, I did want to get this question answered. Person sent in a question, and they want to lose weight. They want to lose unwanted fat or unnecessary fat. However, they have a significant number of physical constraints, which they are seeing seeing professionals and specialists regarding. So, without getting too detailed, actually, so they are under medical care. Their physician or specialist mentioned that they should try to do something every day. So whether it's 15 minutes or what have you. I want to start out, and I want to stress unequivocally, without any sort of nudge, wink, or anything, that there's a lot of information in this question that I'm not reading all of it, but at the end of the day, I'm a personal trainer. I am qualified to train people, but no personal trainer is qualified to either diagnose or prescribe. Even if they're a doctor or they have a master's, whatever, if they're not your doctor, they can't really give you advice on what you should do within your ability spectrum, so to speak. I would, under normal circumstances, I would recommend aqua aerobics, like all the time, or just getting in the pool at all. However, in reading the totality of this person's question, and I don't want to get into too great of specifics, because some of this may be a little more, I mean, you don't know who this person is, but still, I don't want to put too much of their personal business out. But they remarked about how the information they gave me lets me know that aqua fitness isn't plausible. Now, for the next person, whenever I hear somebody who's, whether they're older, they're new to fitness, they're morbidly obese, they've got arthritis, pregnant, any sort of physical constraints that are ever present, aqua fitness. It's high resistance, low to no impact. You can modify the resistance on the fly. However, in this instance, this person, for any number of reasons, it isn't going to be able to make it to a pool. Okay, so they need to be able to work out at home. So again, I can't under normal circumstances, if I had a client, if I was working at a gym, a client walked into the front door, slapped down a bunch of money and said, hey, I just got out the hospital and I just got, my doctor's approval to start working out or whatever. I want you to train me. The first thing I would ask them is, well, what did your doctor say you could do? Because, and it was like, oh, well, I haven't asked. And I would say, you need to ask. Even if you've gotten approval to start working out, I, as a professional who is now, and I said we can't prescribe, we're not supposed to prescribe like supplements. We're not supposed to prescribe meal plans because I don't know what you're allergic to. I don't have access to your blood work. And do people do it? Yeah, it's not the biggest, it's not illegal, but it's also not ideal. But I can prescribe workouts based on your physical abilities, which if you are under or have recently been under a doctor's care, I would want to know from the doctor what it is that you should be working on, what it is that you're allowed to do, and then I would show you how to do that. I would monitor your technique, monitor your progress, and I would help spot you or what have you as necessary. With regards to this situation, this person is pretty much going to need to be able to work out at home with like hand weights and maybe a kettlebell and what have you. Without being there in person or doing like any sort of face-to-face, the best that I can give you is that yes, movement at all. And I think I talked about fuels the previous video. You have to take in the appropriate fuels for your activities. I don't know what your metabolic rate is. I don't know how quickly you're processing the fuels that you're taking in. There is some dietary stuff that was included. But it starts with nutrition and making certain that you're not taking in excess calories. That's going to be hugely important if you're in a relatively sedentary state. If you're not able to go out jogging, you're not able to, walk flights of stairs or hop in the pool or whatever. If you have, certain limitations along those lines, you're going to have to be extra vigilant with your diet, because if you're only able to say work out for maybe 15 to 30 minutes, and you don't have access to like, say, heavy weights or a cardio class or what have you, then you're not going to have the same capacity to burn off extra calories that, somebody who's going to be in the gym for 2 hours, lifting and sweating and jumping and running and all that would do. So you've got to monitor your diet. Based on, again, what I'm seeing, and the amount of constraints that I'm reading, a good exercise that's a good, I think, in my opinion, a good functional, practical exercise is if you're able to lay down and stand up, get out of bed or get out of a chair or whatever, that is what I would start with. I would start with known activities that you can do. So let's say hypothetically, even if you were elderly or you were morbidly obese or what have you, and you had to work with like a walker or some sort of like foundational assistance, getting into those positions, getting up and into a stable position using walker, cane, or what have you, and then getting back down off and maybe, laying down, getting up and going through those motions. I mean, that ultimately is going to be what you want to get better at anyway, right? Because if you're not good at that, you're not going to be able to do other more complex stuff. And it's important to get our body weight, our body mass moving because it keeps us honest. Like, while yes, working out with, say, a 2-pound dumbbell is better than nothing, if we have a greater opportunity, if we have greater ability, we want to work with that, because ultimately it comes down to, how many calories you take in versus how many calories you burn. And you're going to burn way more calories with your legs and your full body moving than you will with a pair of dumbbells or a single dumbbell. Unless that dumbbell is like 20% like your body weight, a minimum of 10%, but unless that dumbbell is like 10-20% of your dumbbell weight, 10 to 20% of your body weight, you're probably not going to be able to generate enough, probably not going to be able to do enough work to generate change in an efficient manner. But again, something's better than nothing. Something is better than nothing. So, like, even if it's like, hey, I'm going to raise my arms, put my arms back down by my waist and raise them and lower them just to keep the blood flowing, get the heart going. Yes, totally. I'm not knocking that at all. But if we're saying, hey, well, whatever the stuff that you're having trouble doing, that is what you should be working on. That is what you should be trying to do. And under normal circumstances, I would say you would be trying to do that with resistance. This isn't a case where I would recommend resistance. This is a case where, like, hey, no, want to focus on stability, technique, and like range of motion and breathing, being steady. So, if let's say you have a bed and the bed's away from the wall, I would practice getting up out of bed, swing my legs around one side, standing up. Even if I have to prop myself up with my hands on the bed and then getting back in the bed, if I got to roll over, swing my legs over the other side and get up. In the case of an emergency situation, if, zombies were coming and you had a head start, you had knowledge of, hey, the zombies, they're going to be here in 15 minutes, still a lot closer than what you would want zombies to be. You'd probably rather be like 15 days, but so knowing that, like, hey, what would you have to do? Would you be able to get up? And if you're going to have to try to escape these zombies, with a cane, a walker, or whatever, you know, I would work on that. What in an emergency or in an urgent situation, what would you need to do with your body in order to extract yourself from that situation? Those are things that I would work on. I would work on those otherwise mundane or trivial tasks or movements, and do them as if your life depended on it, but with care. So you can even think in your head, okay, the zombies, maybe it's not, maybe they're 3 hours away. They're not 15 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes was a bit, that was, you know, a little, we're just starting out. So we don't want to just say like 3 hours, right? So that's a increase of several 100%. All right. But yeah, I think that's it. Pardon me, there's not going to be like any graphics or anything because I'm about to get up and go to bed. And maybe I should have said that at the beginning of the video, but yep, that's about it. Yeah. Thank you very much for the questions. Keep them coming. Ray Reese, Reese's Masterpieces. Take care. Good night. See ya. Bye-bye.